The power of the vote, the power of the people. I can't say this enough, and I know that people have heard it before. It's the most important election of your lifetime. This really is.
We are here at the Cream and Sugar Coffee House on Montgomery Road, Black-owned business, and we are talking with Alicia Reese, candidate for Hamilton County Commissioner. You have seen her serve as Cincinnati Vice Mayor, Ohio State Representative, Ohio Tourism Deputy Director, and she has always been in the community helping and fighting for the people. She was even marching in the streets in our Black Lives Matter march. Who is Alicia Reese?
Wow, that's a good question. Alicia Reese is a young lady born and raised in Cincinnati, grew up on the west side of town before they had diversity like they have on the west side. Grew up in civil rights with my parents who marched, fighting for justice, standing up for voting rights before I could even vote myself. I'm someone who just believes every day I want to get up and help people with information and resources. I want that dash between my name to mean something, that I help somebody. So that's who I am.
Why did you choose a historically black college?
Well, I had an opportunity to go to an Ivy League school, Brown University, and was excited about that. But then one day I thought about it, and I went to my parents and I said, listen, I want to go to an HBCU. It was like the final, months, and so they were like going crazy. But then my father asked me, he said, why? I said, because I want to go to the South. I had read about the South and everything that came up from the South, the civil rights movement. But the other thing is, I wanted to go to a school that would train me to be a majority thinker and what the world would view as a minority body. And went down there, and it really changed my life. When I was growing up, of course, I had to be in civil rights. I had to be in marches. I had to read the newspapers. But when I went to the college, 16 hours away from home, I didn't have to do that. And so there was a guy by the name of David Duke, KKK Grand Wizard, who said he was running for governor and he was going to shut down Grambling and turn it into a jail. I got upset about it, and I ended up registering and mobilizing thousands of young people, both black and white, from Grambling and Louisiana Tech. We united, used our college ID. We defeated David Duke, and that's when I saw, wow, the power of the vote, the power of the people.
Why are you running for county commissioner, and what makes you the best candidate?
Well, I'm running for county commissioner because we have some very difficult times. You've got the city and the county. They say city and county fighting each other. The reality is the city of Cincinnati is in the county. It's one of the 49 municipalities that the county serves. But I think the experience that I have, being a vice mayor of a city, third largest city in the state, being a state representative where I had to represent parts of the county, the largest township in the county was in my district. I understand the budget. I understand the issues and the complexities. When I was at the city, I helped negotiate the collaborative agreement along with community leaders as well, and that was a very difficult time. I was able to put a plan together for Cincinnati when people were canceling conventions, how to get and market our city and bring money. I marketed the state to bring money. So when you bring all of those pieces together from the bottom up, learning the system, understanding those things, and then also being able to do development, I was able to help lead the development and expansion of the convention center. And then I was also able to do a highway, a brand new highway exit on I-71, getting the state to move that process up. It was slated for 35 years. We got it done in less than 7. And now it connects the hospitals, and it's an innovation corridor, and it's named after Dr. King. So when you put all those experiences together of social justice, economic development, understanding budgets, it just makes sense for me to run for county commission at a time when we've got to work on the bounce back. We've got a pandemic, we've got an economic recession, we need to have social and racial and equity, and I'm excited to be able to help lead what I call the bounce back for Hamilton County.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what do you see as the top issues in the county?
The top issue is helping people bounce back. I've been out giving out food at food pantries and different pop-up locations all over the county, and I see people of all different races, and also different ages that need help. People can't get food right now. We've got people losing their jobs or they're on furloughs. We got small businesses like where we are right now that employ people but have to operate maybe at less than 50% of what they normally would operate. We've got black-owned businesses, minority businesses. They already weren't getting access to capital. Now it's even worse.
What are some of the things you're most proud of accomplishing in your career?
Speaking at the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington, where Dr. King stood, where he gave the famous I Have a Dream speech, where Congressman John Lewis said we need action now. And to go back 50 years later when they gutted the Voting Rights Act and be able to stand there as a beneficiary of Dr. King and say, listen, we sick and tired of being sick and tired. We need a voter Bill of Rights. We need voting to be in the Constitution. And then to come back home, go through that process that I had never been through, petition the government, African Americans petitioning our government saying we want our voting rights, and to get 100,000 signatures for it, to get it in the DNC platform, and as a result, Michigan putting it on the ballot and it actually passing. We still have work to do, but for me, it was kind of like going back. I never met Dr. King. I did meet Congressman John Lewis, and to say, you passed that baton, we're gonna keep fighting and we're not gonna stop.
What is it like to be a black woman in politics, and what are some of the obstacles that you faced?
Well, I think it's a little bit better now because I'm so excited that black women are stepping up all over the country and saying we're not gonna take a back seat. We are one of the most loyal bases in terms of coming out to vote all the time. We are also one of the top consumers, being able to buy the products. And so now black women are saying, wait a minute, we can lead these corporations, we can lead these paid boards, we can also run for office and lead in these offices. And so I think it's a good time. I will say that in Ohio, in this race for me, we have 88 counties in Ohio. And when elected, with the help of the people, I will be only the third black in Ohio to ever be elected. Out of 88 counties.
You're also a big voting rights advocate, and you've been registering voters. What do people need to do to make sure that their vote counts, and how can that help you win?
Yeah, I can't say this enough, and I know that people have heard it before. It's the most important election of your lifetime. This really is. I mean, we're talking about not only is democracy on the ballot, because we've seen so much craziness, from the president on down. And it's not just the president. I mean, I have opponents and they're running with what the president is talking about, want to bring it down to the level of Hamilton County. This election is very important because we have a pandemic. There's a new way of voting. We don't know how many polling locations will be open. They're talking about possibly multiple drop boxes. There's a whole lot of new stuff. It's a culture shift. But we can't afford to sit this out. One of the things we gotta do is we gotta make sure everyone is registered to vote. There's 100,000 less voters than there were 4 years ago in Hamilton County. So you gotta double check. You gotta make sure you're registered because they're gonna try to play some games. Number two, you gotta make sure everybody who is 18 years of age in your network that's eligible to actually vote. If you are an ex-felon, you can vote in Ohio. So you have all of this, you gotta make sure you understand that we've gotta be registered. Now the next thing we gotta do is that we gotta vote early. And so the Board of Elections will be open starting in October, and we got to be there. Every day we should be coming in voting. Secondly, those who wanna vote absentee, get the applications in now so that the ballot has time to get to your house. And then take that ballot, if you can, and drive to the Board of Elections and drive through and drop it in the box. I got a hashtag called Drop It in the Box. And my campaign is called Voting is Essential. Because remember, only essential services can stay open. Voting is essential. It's essential to your house. It's essential to your livelihood. It's essential to everything. We see that now because the government decides if your business is gonna open or not. The government is deciding if you can come out the house or not. The government is deciding if you can go to school or not. So you got to make sure you got the right people in the right offices. So please, 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 register to vote now and vote early.
Is there anything that you want to mention about the ballot?
Yeah, so one of the things too, people say, when I get my ballot, where are you? My whole career, I've always been on the front of the ballot, right? So they try to be real smooth this time. We're gonna put you on the backside at the very bottom. When you get your ballot, we're gonna do it a little different. We want you to come from, most of us come from the bottom up. So we want you to get the ballot and vote from the bottom up. From the bottom up on the backside, and then turn it over. And why do I say that? It's because certainly President of the United States is very, very important. But let me tell you how it trickles down. You got the money comes from the federal, goes to the state, then goes to the county. And then the county gets it to you. So you got to make sure the people at the bottom are the right people, because those are the people going to make sure that it gets to your house, gets to your business, gets to your community. And if you don't do that, then you have the top, but it never makes it down to the bottom. So we're gonna do something different this time. We're going from the bottom up, and we're gonna vote early, and we're gonna drop it in the box.
Thank you so much for coming on and taking the time to speak with us and educate us today. Much luck to you in the election. I know we're going to just speak into existence now that you will be the Hamilton County Commissioner this fall.
Well, I appreciate that, and please know that I'm the only candidate, I think, that has two opponents. They got both on both sides of me. So I need your help to make sure that it's Alicia Reese, and I'm on the back side of your ballot. I'm running for Hamilton County Commissioner, and you can go to my website to get anything you need, anything for COVID-19 resources, to a voter hub, anything on voting. Go to votealiciareese.com.